Hello everyone, this is Plankera, and welcome to my universe. So, it is time to gradually take this picture closer to a finished state. That tends to be how I work. I don't go through phases, I just say, okay, which part do I like the least? Which right now, I'm still not feeling a large part of her face, and she also needs her hat. Definitely feels weird without her hat. And I don't like her chest area. But I think I fixed a lot of the stuff that I disliked about the sleeves. I mean, this arm's still not fully connected to her shoulder yet, but don't worry about it. That'll happen soon. But yes, I finished a lot of what I didn't like here and with her, like, dress here. So I think I can safely move on to other things. And one other minor thing that's been kind of bothering me that's going to be a super quick fix is I don't like how I'm having trouble telling the front of this ribbon from the back. So what I want to do is I'm going to take my dark purple in here. Somewhere like around there, that should be fine. And give myself a shadow color. A little bit. No, not that dark. Little bit darker. There we go. Okay. And this way, I should hopefully be able to tell the difference and they will stop melding together quite so hard. I'm just gonna color the whole thing my shadow color for now. I will give it proper colors and lighting a little bit later. Well, maybe I'll do a little bit now. Just enough to make me happy. We'll just give it a nice little highlight right there. Yeah. There we go. That looks pretty ribbony. The shape and everything will be corrected at some point, but now I feel like I can see the front and the back very easily. And they're no longer kind of getting lost with each other, so hopefully that'll let me fix up her torso area here a little bit better around her chest. And I can go from there. I think at some point today I'm going to want to go through and start picking colors for things. Like the colors I have here are fine, but the nature of the particular style that I want to use means that I need more. That is basically it. I need more. But first, I'm gonna go into her face a little bit more. It's looking a little alright, but I just think her head looks a little bit fat. So I want to bring that eye over, and then adjust everything else around it. And then the other thing is that I do not think her neck is on her shoulders correctly, so I'll be moving her entire head and neck over. But first, I just wanted a second to get the head itself okay. And actually, you know what? I want to move the head and the hair together here. I forget. Can I just do that? I can. Okay, cool. There's some times where I want you to have them grouped, and in that case, I would have pulled some shenanigans to make it work, but I'm wondering if they fixed that in some update somewhere that I just wasn't reading about, and now things are a little bit better. So I will adjust these together. There might be some parts where I want to adjust the head only, but for now, they're kind of connected over here. So I will adjust them together. And I think that might also fix some of the problems I was having with the hair last time. You can see that I'm adjusting it all pretty delicately. This isn't doing a bunch of funny stuff with the liquify tool, even though I can. This is just using it to kind of push things into place. Because for whatever reason, I like treating art like sculpting. I don't know, it just makes more sense in my head. This is why I often tend to draw with shadows and stuff too. I haven't done it on the face yet, I probably should. It might actually help me figure out where something should go. Oh gosh, that is still completely wrong. Alright, I'll get it there. I will, I trust myself. Actually, I don't want liquefy here, I just want to use a basic skew. There we go. Just gotta use the right tool for the job here. So if you watched my rigging streams when I was working on Shalom, I said many a time that I struggle with the jawline, and here we are. This is one of those things. For whatever reason, I can just never find the right angle for this. So that is something I've been trying to work on. I probably just made some habit somewhere down the line, and I don't know what it is, but I am having a time breaking it. Let me go ahead and hide her hair and see if I can wrangle her head shape a little bit here. It tells me that there's something with her eyes. Okay. I was gonna say, I'm gonna see about drawing a box around her head and see if that kind of helps me figure out where this should go. Because it's like her head is supposed to be, I'll use this blue for now, kind of tilted backwards. But our eye level is like somewhere around here. So we're looking a little bit down on her. So I'm like, do we see the top of her head or the bottom? Like, do we see under her chin here or not? I am not entirely sure. This is definitely something I always get a little frustrated with myself with, because I feel like this is stuff that I should have been able to figure out a long time ago. Just based on everything else that I can do, but I have not. I legitimately have not. It still eludes me. And I think it is one of the biggest things slowing down my process right now. Of just, why can I not properly picture the head in 3 dimensions? Why can I not do this? So it's something I gotta practice. And I'm still kind of figuring it out. But it's okay. I think everybody just has some arbitrary thing that for whatever reason does not click for them. And I have also said many a time that my depth perception is terrible. And I think that's part of why I have trouble picturing things in 3 dimensions, and also just what's the word? Perspective. I have trouble with perspective and just gauging how far away things should be. Like, I have an extremely hard time with these things. And it is annoying because there's many other things that I can do well that I think. But for whatever reason, man, those things, some of those basic fundamental things, I have a much harder time with them than I feel like I should. Which is also why I just, for my process, embrace chaos. I just make it work for me. And I just keep trying until I'm happy. I mean, I think this looks alright. Something still doesn't feel quite right to me, but I don't know what it is. I'll probably figure it out at some point. Have I mentioned lately that I am grateful for transform tools? I am so happy they exist. They make my process possible. Just let me experiment and slide things around until I am happy. I'm gonna make her mouth a little bit more noticeable. I'm just gonna make that line a little bit stronger. Oh, oops. I was on the wrong layer. Okay, I do not want the mouth to be on the head layer. That would be bad. I thought I was on the face layer. And so yeah, if I don't have this mouth on the right layer, then I cannot just move it around until I'm happy. Lower her nose just a touch there. And then I will move her mouth to a place I'm a little happier with. I feel like I know what I have to do in order to kind of reach the next level with my art. And that is very much a revisiting of fundamentals. And I do think that getting those down a little bit better than I currently do will let me draw faster, and that is something I'm very interested in. That was one thing that I kind of enjoyed with when I was doing a bunch of speed painting. So I might do some more speed paints again. I don't think I will try to keep up the weekly cadence that I had before. Like, that was fantastic when I didn't have anything in particular that I wanted to draw. But when I did have stuff that I wanted to draw, oh gosh. It kinda got in the way. So that might be the kind of thing that I keep up when I don't know what else I want to draw. I think it's great for practice. And then I just work on the specific things that I want to do when I want to do them. Okay, no. Okay. Instead of doing it like that, I'm just gonna move this entire thing over. We're gonna put her ear kind of over where it belongs. There we go. And basically, it just so happens that there's nothing in particular that I kind of want to draw right now, so I might do some daily speed painting again, or at least weekly. We'll see. I am thinking about it. Because it really is a great time when I don't know what to do with myself. I am so gonna have to make her head bigger again once I am done with all this. And I'm not really worried about the shape of the ear right now. I'm just kind of trying to figure out the shape of her head. This is mostly going to be like the front part of it. I think the back part is doing something like this, where it goes a little bit further back. But I don't really want to worry about it right now. I'm just kind of worried about the part that actually has her face. Because like I said, I am terrible with depth perception. So I'm treating this more like a mask. And then I'm gonna put her hair on it. And her hair is gonna help define the back of her head. So this is just a mask with an ear coming off the side here. That's all this is. And that should help me get facial proportions right. And kind of push everything that I want into place here. I think her eyes are looking fairly okay now. They're not just, like, immediately irritating me. They're a little big, maybe, but... I feel like everything else is doing a lot better. Jawline... not quite right, I don't think. But it's better than it was. Like I said, I'm still just kind of sculpting it out. Maybe I should put some shadows here and there. That might actually help me out. Sure, let's do it. So this side is going to be kind of in shadow. Let me go ahead and get a darker spot on her body. On the neck. Where is my body layer? Where'd you go, buddy? There you are. Okay. This one I want to be a little bit more of a desaturated purple. So I'm going to go ahead and use kind of a light grayish purple with a brush set to multiply. And that should get me something closer to the color I want. No, I don't like that one. Maybe a little bit of both. I just won't use something that's quite as dark. No, that's definitely not right. Yeah, that's a little bit too red. I'll just use a really, really light color here with my multiply. I just feel like I got a little bit too desaturated there. So maybe if I take this color and just push it a little tiny bit further that way. Maybe that'll get me what I want. No. Not at all. Alas. Okay. Normally I like mixing colors, but sometimes it just doesn't work for me. Oh, because I had the brush on multiply. Okay, that would do it. Oh, but it's too late now. I changed the color. Oh well, that's okay. Yeah, it's fine. I'll go ahead and pick a different one. Anyway, just put a little bit more purple in that. Okay, so I think if I take this color and then put her skin tone over it to kind of make it a little bit less strong, that'll probably get me what I want. Yeah, there we go. I think that's pretty good. I think that's a nice color. There we go. Okay, I'm just gonna make her entire neck that color for now. So this way I can hopefully differentiate the light parts of the head from the dark parts of the head and go from there. And hopefully that will allow me to make a nicer looking head here. As jawline's still not cooperating with me. I think I'm actually gonna zoom in just a touch here. I think this is the first time I have zoomed in the entire process. But you can see, I don't do it very often. There really is not much need to zoom in for a very, very long time. You can just kind of stay out there, get the general gist of what it is that you're trying to do, and then zoom in when it's time to actually render things. Oh, I have a locked layer. That would do it. I am perhaps feeling a tad scatterbrained today. Alright, I'm gonna have to move her ear, so I will just go ahead and redraw that. It's gonna be like... this isn't human proportion. This is anime proportion, and I think her ear should be a little bit down here. Kind of more lined up with her nose than the top of her eyebrows. I pay attention to both, but I think it's somewhere around here, with ear doing ear things like this. I draw the ear there so that this way I know kinda where her jawline is ending. And then there's like shadows in the corner of the eyes and stuff. Under here, I may or may not draw these later, but whatever. They might help me for now. So we have eyes around here. I'll just go ahead and make this entire area dark. I think that mouth is still too low. Her head is facing slightly up, so I think her mouth and nose should be a little bit closer together. Which means that part of what was probably bothering me about her chin is that it was too long. Yeah. There we go, that's doing a little bit better. Like I said, I don't care if this curls all the way to the back or not. Her hair will probably end up defining most of the back of her head anyway. So I'm kind of treating this like a mask. We're mostly seeing the front. And then her eyes still seem a little bit lopsided. I think this one needs to be a little bit higher. And because I drew shadows, I actually want to put her eye white here now. So this is... I like making a separate group for the eyeballs because I find it convenient. And... let's see. I'll just take a very, very, very light pink for her sclera. I'll block it in very roughly. It doesn't really matter if it's clean or not yet, because it's probably going to change a whole bunch. That's just the nature of it, but I just didn't want the shadows to show through. There we go. Very, very rough block. Okay, so now I'm gonna go back to kind of the shape of her head again. This is something that I recommend doing if you ever find yourself struggling with a certain part, and it's just take away some of the stuff around it. Like in this case, her hair was covering her forehead and stuff, so I couldn't see the shape of her head. And now that I'm here, I can. So it's making it a little bit easier for me to see things. I have arbitrarily chosen this color. It's not a great color, but it is a start. Let me go ahead and pinkify this guy a little bit more. Alright, here we go. I might change it later, but this is a fine color for now. I just want to clean up her mouth a little bit. I think it'll help me figure out where some other parts should go. Might help me figure out the shape of her jaw. Because all of these things are connected, so if I'm having trouble with one spot, sometimes I move the stuff around it. And it's very, very normal for me to have trouble with the jawline. Look, someday I'll be able to picture a head in 3D space. Okay, now, I like where her nose is, so I just want to tilt the mouth on its own. I was like, that smile is not cute enough. It is not. So I gotta fix that. Very important. Gotta be cute. Gotta be very cute. Oh, there we go. That's a little bit better. Just gonna keep making it a little bit smaller. I did draw her eyes quite large, and I think that's okay here. I like drawing the eyes maybe a little bit bigger than I should. Sometimes it works out for me. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. And I kind of have to rein it in just a touch. Either way, it's okay. I'll eventually find my way through. Like I say that, but man, does it get a little annoying sometimes when I still feel like I'm struggling with basic things that I shouldn't be. See, when I was learning how to draw, I didn't actually do very many studies. I did a few. I did a few. But there were enough things that I wanted to draw that I just drew them. Like, I didn't worry about it. I tried to think of maybe one or two things that I wanted to work on in that picture, and I did that. But generally, when I was drawing stuff, I was drawing finished illustrations. And not just little studies. Probably slowed down my growth to an extent, but I had a lot more fun doing it, so that is okay. Just kinda depends on your art goals, really. But it's also why I'm kind of in the state that I'm in, where I can draw things, but maybe it takes a little bit longer than I would like in order to get there, because I'm not so good at structuring my drawings. And I just kind of have to feel it out. Okay. I want to move this lower lash up a little bit more just to make her look a little bit happier. I think that kind of effect is very cute. So I want to put it in there. Alright, how's it doing? I think it's doing a little bit better. Let's put her hair back on. Her hair is gonna be completely wrong now. To the point that I am actually gonna do this. Goodbye, hair. It was nice knowing ya. You are going to be reborn. So I have a hairline about here, I think. And let me open up some of my reference images here. So it just kinda... I mean, I can basically do what I want. I shouldn't worry about it. Yuyuko has wavy pink hair, and that's about it. But still. Let's see here, so I can maybe do something like that. Look, eventually I'll find a strand that I like. There we go. That's okay. Off to the side here, there's going to be some more hair there. Don't worry about it. It'll be drawn eventually. So I'm just kind of keeping the general structure of the hair in mind here. I don't have any shadows drawn right now, but I can kind of picture where they're going to be in my head. So... they exist. It's just I feel like doing everything with one color at the start kind of helps keep my hands a little bit more free. So I just want to lock in some basic patterns here. Kinda gets an idea of the general shape here. Alright, I don't know if I like that. Let's do that a little bit later. Let's figure out where the back of her head is. I think it's gonna be something like this. And I mean, her head doesn't connect to her neck or anything like that right now. It's not important. Don't worry about it. But I think the face is definitely one of the most important parts. So I want to make sure that it gets a lot of extra love and care. So I think if the face looks bad, the entire picture is just going to look bad. It just will. Okay, I think I have it going out just a little bit too far, but this is starting to look reasonably correct. And about how long is her hair? Maybe just barely brushes up against her shoulders, so probably goes down to about here. Let's start. I should get a really big brush for this, just so I can draw the entire strand. Yeah. And I'll start waving it around. And eventually it'll get shadows and stuff. Actually, you know what? Before I do that, I think I'm gonna leave it there. Yeah, I think I want to leave it there. We'll draw a little bit more side hair. Just, so she looks a little bit less bald up top. Okay, that's fine for now. And then I think it is time to put her hat on. Yes. We do hat. Oh, wait, no, it's fine. I was like, wait, I should get the colors first. But I forgot that I'm just using the same colors as her clothes. Okay, so with this, I should be able to put her hat on now. Where does it sit on her head? Kind of at the top. And it's very, very floppy. So I'm just gonna draw in a bunch of spots where it kind of fans off of her. I want it to have some indication of how she's spinning. So I think I'll have it do something like this. Still doesn't really look like it's sitting on her head. I will fix that momentarily. Maybe. Let's lower the opacity just so I can... I still don't like it. I don't like it. I will keep the opacity low for now, just so I can kind of see her head. Okay, giving her a nice shower cap here. Still don't think this is gonna sit on her head right though, just because I want it to be blowing in the wind a little. Okay, well, let's turn it up. Let's draw the frilly parts. And maybe the way that they kind of move around will help me out. I'm just gonna scribble some curves like this. This is my approach to frills. I scribble. And then I put in areas that look like light and dark to me. And after a while, it kind of works out. I feel like I say that a lot in my drawing process. It's just, you know, it's just a matter of just kind of making it work out. How do the frills connect to her hat? I don't think I have them in the right place. So let me draw kind of like where the seam is gonna be. Something like that. And then the frills will connect to this. And some parts I think we'll see the top, and some parts I think we'll see the bottom. Let me just think about this for a second. I actually think we might mostly see the bottom. And that might be why I'm having trouble, because I keep drawing them like this. And that works if you're seeing the top. Whereas where I think I might actually want them is a little bit higher up. I want them to be a little bit tighter. There we go. I think you can tell that I do not draw hats very often. Oh man, because I am having trouble picturing how this wraps around her head. She's gotta have her hat. She just doesn't look right without her hat. It's alright. So if we see like this... Okay, I think this is where I have to do the thing that you do when you don't know how to draw something. And that is look up reference. So, one moment, please. Had to look up some cosplayers. Let's go. Fortunately, for Touhou, I do not think that will be a problem at all. So I'm just gonna go look up some photos and see how hats work. Yes. Even got one at a fairly decent angle here. Just gonna take a moment to figure out how frills work. I have never been very good at drawing them because they have lots of little overlapping shapes. And I kind of have trouble picturing it because I can't just slap down a bunch of light and shadow shapes and have it work out. I have to have them overlapping in the right ways. Okay. I think I found one that works. The hat on this one is a little bit small. Okay. So I do feel like I have her hat wrapping around her head correctly, or at least the start of it. So maybe before I do the frills, let's get this part of her, the little triangular part of her hat, the white part. So it's gonna... center of her face, or of her head, is gonna be like here. I'll just draw that part first. I don't think I want it to be quite that big. Let me check her official art for proportions. Covers most of her head, so I think that the other part of the triangle is gonna be like here. And we're just gonna let it kind of fly this way a little bit. I think it'll do something like this. Okay. So there's another part to kind of help me see how the rest of her... and how the frills on her hat are going to be shaped. Let me... This part is going to be covered up, but I think getting the shape of this part right will help me figure out where those frills should sit and kind of the angle of her hat. All of this extra prep is literally just to make it easier for me to place some of her other features here. Other features of the hat. And just like when I was drawing the back of the head, or the front of the head there, that was to help me place the hair. And so that this way I would be able to figure out where the back of the head was from that. And now that I've done that to an extent, I'm not quite sure if this is right. But now that I have, I can start drawing the hat. And all of these things build on each other, so... That's why I say, whenever I am having a tough time picturing things in 3D space, I just kind of look at some of the stuff around it, and it helps a lot. Let me put in some shadows here, just once again, help me picture this. This is not quite right, but it's okay. It'll get there. I'm just kind of sculpting it out. And then this side, I think, goes back more like this. Okay. And then there's the squiggle. I'm gonna pay a little bit more attention to its shape now. So we have the tail, kinda... Is this big enough, actually? It is not. I would like it to be a little bit larger, then. I was too zoomed in, but yes, this is not quite large enough. I severely underestimated just how big and ridiculous her hat is. There we go. Okay. Look, it's easy to do. Zune hats are a very special breed. No, I want it to look like it's being pulled by the wind here, so it's gonna come a little further back than it otherwise would. Just being stopped by her head and the 2 points that it's connected to here. Okay, I like this. So then the tail of the little symbol here is it's gonna be like somewhere, probably like here. And then the top of the spiral is gonna be like somewhere, like it's gonna be really close to the edge here, just because it's going backwards. And then it'll get thick over here, and got that part. And we'll see a little bit more of the bottom. And I think, yeah, it comes down and then curls up like this. I'm not worried that it's kind of falling off. It's fine. Let's just push this around a bit. Like I said, don't worry that it's falling off. I will clip it like this. Just push it into place a little, and I think that's accurate enough for now. It's a little bit off center. And even then, I'm not even sure if that's big enough, but I'll leave it there for now. I can adjust the proportions once I get everything drawn in a way that makes me happy. Alright, back to cosplayers. So, hat. I have the right idea. It's all being kind of pulled toward here. So this part is going to be like shadowed. Hide these for just a sec. And then there's just gonna be like shadows coming off here. This will determine where I put kind of the lumpier parts. Oh, I didn't actually have the right color there. Okay. So something kind of like this. I don't know. Her tat and so much of her official art looks super floppy. So I've been wanting to kind of incorporate that and make it a little bit larger than it otherwise would be. Let me... just get a little bit on the back side too. Does look very shower cap. I think that's okay though. Just gotta feel out some shadows here. And you know, given it's this particular style, let's give it a few highlights too. I don't always do highlights. this case, and I think for the particular style that I am going for, it makes sense to do some highlights in the just really bright areas. And like I said, I'm just exploring. I'm not doing anything super serious here. Just trying some things out. It's all gonna be a little bit messy, and that's okay. It's okay to be a little bit messy. I'm just kind of imitating some of the shapes that I'm seeing in the reference that I'm taking a look at. Just taking a look at it and then coming back over and filling in some of these spots. Okay, now I just want to make it a little bit fluffier. I am not satisfied with the amount of fluff that I have here. This is where I want to reference the official art again. Where, actually, if I want to make it fluffier, I want it to sit on her head a little bit more evenly. And then just have it come off the side a little bit more strongly. And then have it look like blowing a cloth. Instead of having it kind of like it has an elastic waistband across her head. Now, the references that I'm looking at do indeed look like they have an elastic going across the person's head. So this may result in kind of a contradictory look. But if I have to go back and fix some things, that's okay. Alright, let's go touch up the back here. Okay. And then I will turn this back on. And I think I actually have to... Oh, I already had a layer called Hat back. I will rename that. But I do think I need to bring this layer all the way down to the bottom because this, I think, has to be behind... No, it doesn't. Okay, good. I will call... I don't know. It's a veil-like thing, so I'll just call it that. And then we just have the kind of white part coming out, doing its thing. Actually, I should just use the shadow color for the entire thing for now. There we go. It'll get some different colors at some point, and I will make it flutter. Okay, that's fine for now. Okay, let's go back to figuring out the frills on it. I think I've got the general shape, though. I'm still not sure if I'm happy with how it's sitting on her head, though. Dang nabbit, why are you scrolling me all the way back down to the bottom, Krita? I did not ask you to do that. Okay, I want to keep all the layers on, so I'm just going to reduce the opacity of the entire group. And I'm going to go back, and we're going to liquefy a little bit more. Let me picture how this should be again. I'm just going to close my eyes and think and try to picture it in my eyes. In the blackness of not being able to see anything. Does something like this look a little bit more fluttery? Yeah, I think so. I think it's starting to get there. Okay, let's try to put the frills on it again. Okay, I'm gonna take my 2 colors here, and we're gonna go take a look at the cosplayers again. Gonna look very closely at the shape. And yes, indeed, I was correct. There are some spots where you see the top and some where you see the bottom. Okay. I'm actually gonna take this blue, I'm gonna invert the color. We're gonna use this terrible, terrible yellow. So that this way, I have a couple of colors that I can experiment with and have it be distinct from how this blue looks. Oh yeah, and you need to be on top. No, not outside, on top. Thank you. No, the light one is going to be the dark one, so I want to make sure that I have that distinction. Yes. I need to make sure that I keep the light one under there. I have to have, like, reverse values here. It's fine. Because when I invert this again, it'll look right. So, very important there. Man, I still don't like it. I really don't. I mean, it's better than what I had before, but... Man. Think of that with as often as I draw frills that I would know how to draw them by now, but I do not. I really don't. I just kinda flail my way through every time. Every time. Okay, now I'm gonna try again. Okay, so... maybe I should try this with lines instead of volumes like I normally do. I'll still keep the ugly yellow, though. That is working, so I'm gonna make this nice and thin. And... draw some lines here. And I'm just gonna mess around and kinda try to feel how whatever it is that I draw would actually connect. God, I never draw with lines though. Ah! Okay, somewhere in the middle. Because yeah, I wanted to just have a nice wave to it. Then I also need to have points where they kind of pinch together. That is kind of the feeling that I get. I think this makes sense in my head, so don't worry if it doesn't make sense yet. I think I know what I'm doing. I think. Okay, I think I'm seeing something here. Let me clean this up a little bit and see what I got. Now this one we pretty clearly see underneath. Yes, so I should use the lighter color. This one we see on top. How do the ones that we see on top look here? The ones that we see the top of, we largely do not see them cover up this white cloth behind them. This one I see underneath. So just remember that I have the colors inverted right now, so the lighter parts will be the darker parts once I fix the colors. And then, yeah, I see the top there. What does the top look like exactly? Then there will be some darker folds kind of connecting it to the hat. And possibly causing some smaller folds within. I'll just do this for now. I'll worry about connecting it to the rest of the hat in a little bit. So this one I'm saying that we see the bottom. It's sticking way up there. That's fine, I think. I think that'll look pretty good, actually. This one I'm saying that I see the bottom. Now let's just shape this a little bit more nicely. Okay, yeah, there we go. It's starting to look like frills to me. I think I'm getting it. I think I'm getting somewhere now. Now I just want to kind of take this back a little, kind of have it shaped a little bit more like that. And like I said, I'll worry about connecting it to the hat later. Let's go ahead and get this side. So for you, I will want a light part going across the top there. And on this one, I'm saying that I see the top. So it'll do something like this. And here's just going to be in shadow because it's in the back, but I don't actually think I like the shape, so I'm actually just going to change it. I'm just gonna have it shaped like this. Or we see the top. And it just kind of sticks out like that. That should be fine. Just kind of stick out for me. Okay, there we go. Okay, and now here I'm saying I see the underside. So he's sticking up nicely. Give it a nice little curl here. Final version of this will probably need more than 2 colors. But I will cross that bridge when I get there. So if I'm saying that this is the underside that I'm seeing, then let me go look at the reference again. Yeah, we probably see a big swath of topside here. So kind of like this. This point will kind of connect into it. Just taking the process nice and slow so that this way I really make sure that I understand what I'm drawing and I'm not just flailing into oblivion here. Let me take a look at what I got so far. Yeah, I think I can get behind that. Yeah, that looks okay. Let's go ahead and grab the rest. Okay. So just due to the shape of this, I want a little shadow area underneath here, because I think we see a little bit of the underneath poking through here. Just kind of like this. It's kind of flipping upward just a little bit. Okay, and then I want an underneath part just coming out like this, and at this point, the frills are going to get a little bit longer because they're being stretched from being blown in the wind. The wind of her spin. So we'll go ahead and connect it like that. And we're almost to the end. Oh man, I have almost made it through. Just kind of took me a few tries to figure out how all this should look. Doesn't really connect to that part of the hat, so I'm gonna draw it a little bit more like this. Where it's just starting to go into the back now. We're just seeing a little bit as it starts going behind her head. No, I don't like that shape, actually. I think it'll look better like this. With just a little tiny bit of shadow underneath. Okay. How's that? Seems alright to me. Gonna make it just a little bit larger. And then I will bring this part to sit on her head just a little bit better. It is still going to be blowing in the wind a little. Let's make it flutter just a touch more. And then this back of the hat that I have over here, I'm going to go ahead and take the dark blue and just make the shape a little bit frillier. There we go. And with that, let's go ahead and connect this to the rest of her hat a bit, and I will worry about exactly how they meet in a little while. I just kind of want to make sure that I'm satisfied with her head. No. Her cheek over here still isn't right. Okay, I don't plan to keep these shadows, but I want to define what her cheek should look like. So in theory, she should have a cheek like... I guess at some point I'm going to want to draw her cheek, so I'll just go ahead and draw some pink areas here. She should have a cheek here, and a cheek here. And this will be covered to give her proper blush later, but this, I'm hoping, will help me figure out what's bothering me about the structure of her face here. So if I do something like this... Okay, I think I see it. I'm gonna go ahead and hide her hair again. I'll let her keep her hat, but the hair needs to move out of the way for me. A little better. I'm gonna go ahead and start attaching it to the rest of her body. I get the feeling I'm gonna be tweaking it a lot. I still do not think it is yet ready, but I can kind of get it started. Go ahead and try to connect this to her neck. And then I am going to try to connect her neck to the rest of her body. I'm going to go ahead and lock her arms in place. There's a little lock button. Can I get out of the way? Not really. It's fine. But yes, there's a little lock button here, so I'd locked the entire group so that this way I can safely just take kind of her head and shoulder area without moving her arms. And go ahead and try to push it in the right place relative to her shoulders. There we go. I think that's a bit better. I will need to obviously clean up all the places that I just ripped apart. It's okay, I will rip them apart with impunity. So there we go, connecting her neck in a better spot. Now let's see if I can figure out what's bothering me about her chest. Go ahead and hide her front arm. Oh, what layer are you? Are you some stray hat? No, you are not stray hat. Are you something on the body? You are, but you are not on any of the clothes layers, so does that mean you are the back arm? Yeah, some of the back arm somehow got all the way up there. These things happen. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and try to get this shoulder in a place where I can understand it. So there's where her arm is gonna come out. Here's a little ribbon that's gonna go around her elbow, so this might be a bit too close, even if it is foreshortened. I don't want to send it too far out. Like I said, her arm is coming pretty far forward. So, kind of want to keep it like that. I'm going to go ahead and hide that collar for a second so I can try to understand her shoulders a little bit better. And I will not be drawing the puff sleeve for now. I just want to get the shape of her arm in. So this way I can figure out where her armpits are. I think the armpit is going to be like right there. And now let's try to kind of draw where her shoulder is. I think it's somewhere around there. I think that's about right. It's like it's coming up. I think you see a bump at that angle. Just a slight one, but nonetheless a bump. And then I'm gonna do something that does not actually make any sense in reality. But I think it'll help me see some stuff. I'm gonna start connecting the shoulder to her neck, because I always picture just a little triangle around there. I think I actually want to do this on top here. I'll do it here, and I'm gonna just use this brown color. So we have the neck kind of connecting to a shoulder up here. That means her collarbone should be doing something like this. And this part of the neck should be kind of connecting up there. I'll just make it black. Yeah, there we go. Okay, this makes sense in my head. Don't worry about it. So I kind of want her neck drawn a little bit more like this. How the heck did I scroll up there? I swear, Krita just keeps selecting random layers for me to draw on instead of the one that I actually pick. I do not know why that is happening, and it's rather obnoxious. Okay. I am going to hide her head again for a little while. Actually, hold on. Before I hide her head again for a little while, let's drop the opacity so this way I can actually see where her head sits on the body for now. I am not convinced that this is the right place for it to be sitting on the body, but I want it to be reflecting where it currently is. So there's the stump of her neck, kind of where it connects into her head. Let me get the angle of it right. It should not be this sharp. We should not see quite this much at the top. There we go. So there's the start of the neck and where it'll all connect to the body. So now I can go in and try to figure out what is wrong with the chest before I go back and kind of finalize the head. Because like even here I don't really like the chest. So that tells me that it is not just shenanigans with the head. There actually is something here that is very much bothering me. So her shoulder's kind of going back. So this shoulder we can see is going up. And actually, if that one is going up, then I think want to change the angle on this. Okay, there we go. That looks a little bit better, I think. So this is about where her elbow is going to be. And... so we have the center line kind of twisting through here, so we actually probably see a little bit of, like, her back. Where is her spine? That is the next thing I think I gotta figure out. That's probably why the pose as it is right now is not working for me. See, this is when things start to slow down a little bit, because I actually have to care about perspective and proportion, which I am not good at. But once I get past this part, it's like all rendering all the time, and at that point I can probably draw for like 8 hours a day, and there will be no problems. So I have a twist in her. Her head kind of comes up here. Let me turn her head back on for just a sec. Like I said, I don't think it's quite connecting correctly at this point, but... that's okay. Her head, center of her head is like here. That is sufficient information for now. It's like there. Kind of connects over here. And center of her head, it's gonna do something like this. The center of her chest is like here. And the center of her legs, and kind of like where her belly button is actually going to be like over here off screen. It's behind her. It's over here. Just take my word for it. So we'd have one leg kind of overlapping the other. Legs doing something like this. Actually, I think they're a bit lower than that. I think it's... more like that. Because this isn't on her waist, it's closer to her bust. There we go. We got legs. Those are legs. And then her spine kind of twists off this way. It comes down. So this is almost on the side here. So her spine is like doing this. This is her back. There's a twist in there. And as it goes up, it's coming forward. So her legs are going that way. This part is going that way. What's her spine doing? Something like... like that. I was going somewhere with that, but I totally lost it. It's okay. It's just going through this does confirm what I need to work on. Let me think about this. It's a fairly strong twist. Like I said, her legs, if she was standing up straight, would be like this, with this one on top. Belly button probably about here on the backside. Center of her chest about here. Oh, the strong twist in there. Here's a nice little S-curve, kind of what I'm going for here. Very, very strong one. Okay, yeah, I can see it. Let me put her head back on. It's part of the reason I don't like the head, because it needs to be sitting more like this. I don't know, I kind of like it tilted back, though. This kind of thing follows the S-curve a little bit more strongly, but no, I think I still prefer it back here. It's just still not shaped right. It is not. Okay, well, let's not worry about the head for now. What did I hit pass through up there? I don't need you to pass through. Okay. So let's worry about this other shoulder. I do not think we see that shoulder. Let me... Okay. Like I said, if you get stuck, reference time. See if I can find a good one. I can. Let's see, her arms aren't going the same direction, but the direction of the pose is, and I think that's what I need to see here. So in theory, I should just... Yeah, this entire thing should come up. And then this guy should come over. You round this out a little. And then I move the back arm into the correct spot. I think I still like the perspective on that. It's like none of it's drawn, but I don't think it really has to be. And then I raise this up with it. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of my curve here. I think I have an okay idea of what I'm doing now. Sometimes it just takes me a second. Not the fastest drawer in the West here. It's okay, I'm just glad that I'm talking about art and not actually drawing a gun, because otherwise I'd have trouble. Okay, and we'll bring this up with it. And this up with it. There. Okay. Take another look at her shoulders here. I don't know about that. Let me find a different ones. This one has her arms covering her front side, so it'd be nice if I could find one where her arms are not covering her. Okay, so I think I can actually drop this shoulder a little bit. Get rid of the back arm for a little while, just so I can actually make sure that I have these shoulders looking the way that I want them. I think it'll go a long way to making this all look right. And all the stuff I'm drawing is only there to help me figure out where things are. Otherwise, it just doesn't really matter. That's all I'm trying to do for the moment, figure out where things are. And once I have a good handle on that, everything else will be easy. Her chest here is just still looking a little bit square. And I am not a fan. I am not a fan at all. Yeah, there we go. I think this will help. I think this will help a lot. Might actually hide the ribbon for a little bit, just let me get a feel for her waist. And we can have a little bit more stretching of her dress here. I just need to get some indications that it is indeed being stretched. So that this way, it doesn't look like she's just kind of thick there. Yeah. There we go. Okay, okay, I'm starting to see it. Let's get a waist in there. Get a shoulder up here. There we go. There we go. Oh yeah, I'm definitely seeing it now. See, reference is helpful. I just look at some picture of a cosplayer for 10 minutes and suddenly some things make sense. Okay, okay. And a lot of the times when I do this, I will do it like just with the body layer instead of a clothes layer like this. That's very normal. It's just this time I did it with the clothes because she's wearing like a one-piece kimono, and you know, it's kind of the shape of her body sans legs, and I'm not really drawing the legs in this one. The legs are kind of off screen. So I was able to just do it directly on the clothes. And on the times when I draw using the body layer instead of a clothes layer, I just kind of trace over it with the clothes. Where applicable. But in this case, I could just do it directly on a clothes layer, and it was fine. Alright, let's clear the body layer here. Only reason it's still allowed to exist is just because I need it for the neck. I could rename this to neck and it would be accurate. Okay. But I think I'm starting to feel the structure of her body here. Let me put in a little dent for her neckline. Just let me see it a little bit more clearly. And I think I still want her shoulder to come out just a touch. We will do it like this. Just so I can kind of see where that shoulder is supposed to be. Okay. Let's attach her arm. I want it to go a little bit further back now. Okay, I think that is good. Clean up some of the area around it. Okay. So I think her shoulders are looking much nicer now. I will go ahead and put this ribbon back on. The center of her body is like over here, or rather it's like right there, so I want this part to be a little bit off center. Go ahead and squish all this into place. I think it should be just a touch higher. Perfect. And I'll just use Liquify to push it all where I want it to be. Perfect. Okay, and gonna do it again for these little guys. I want them to look like they're a bit off center there. Okay. I like it. And then the big ribbon on her back. I think I have changed where the center of her back is, so I'll go ahead and slide it just a little bit further back there. And then I see some stray pixels and stuff. I'll go ahead and clean those. Okay. Let's see if I can attach her head. And that might be where I call it for today. And oh my goodness. It is big again. I'm gonna see if I can push her chin back a little. And then if I can take my neck layer. Like I said, we might as well rename this body layer to neck. Kinda let us see the bottom of her neck a little. Something like that. Kind of the underside of her chin. I do not think that is drawn correctly, and this is going to be another case where I probably stare at reference for a little while I ramble in a stream of consciousness that may or may not be understandable. I don't know if I like it. Let me go back to what I had before if I can. I don't know, I kind of liked it better than that though. But I think I want to do it where I have a little bit more control. I didn't realize that I had cut off part of her hat while I was moving stuff around. Let's go ahead and reattach this. I don't want to redraw it, so I'm just going to attach it proper. Hair, on the other hand, is fine to redraw, so that's okay. I'm going to turn her hand back on. Maybe a little bit large relative to the rest of her body now. I do want it to be pretty large, but maybe not quite that big. Her head is still very badly sized. But it'll get there. Alright, I'm gonna turn some of her other various decorations on here. Like I said, I think I changed the angle of her body a little, so I will adjust the trim here to compensate. And let's see, what else do I want to do here? Let's turn the collar back on. I will hide the trim while I place the collar since they are the same color. I was hoping to give this a little bit more flopping of the wind energy, but you know, this is fine, I think. I'll just let it be very much affected by her shoulders. I think that'll still look okay. I'll still give this a little push in that direction. Just gently push all these into place. There we go. I think that is a good spot for it, and I will be able to clean that up nicely when the time comes. I don't want to put any additional decorations on it yet, though, because I want to have her head right. Head is better than it was at the start of today, but it's still not right. But I'm feeling the energy of the pose overall. Let me at least get her head relatively proportionate, and then I will worry about the angles and stuff next time, but relatively proportionate I think is going to be like about here. Maybe a little bit larger since this is anime. And anime girls do tend to have slightly larger heads. You know, I was actually kind of hoping to get started on drawing the fan today, but... proportions, man! Ah! Why can't I do it? That's how I feel every time. Just internal screaming. I actually think I kind of want this collar here to come above her head. So we'll put it with the front arm here. That doesn't really make sense, but that's okay. I will do that for now. Just because I do want her head to be behind the shoulder there, and I feel like this collar is defining a lot of where that shoulder is. And that just needs to die. I will redraw that later. Back ribbon is now a bit large. Should be quite large, but maybe not quite that large. I'm gonna let it stick out that way a little bit more too, just to have a better distinction of what this is and not let it go stick up into her armpits weirdly. Okay. Well, I say things are getting relatively proportionate. I like her chest now. We'll see if I feel the same way tomorrow. But at least now I don't look at the chest and I'm just like, man, that just looks awful and terrible and bad. I think it looks okay now. The head, on the other hand, not so much. Face is better. Face is much better. But man, I'm gonna need to find me some reference for her head and decide what I actually want to do with it. Yeah, because I'm not quite sure what's wrong. Something is definitely wrong, though. But, you know, everything else I think is looking pretty good. the pose, I think, is there. Let me get this closer to how I want it to be compositionally. I want her to be a little bit larger in there. I want a little bit of the flippiness to be showing in her dress here. And I think other thing that will help a lot is I will take just her entire clothes. No, not the circle. Why are you selecting the circle for me? I did not ask for you to move the circle. I asked for you to move her clothes. Okay, thanks. And we're gonna bring it over here so I can make her a little bit larger. I'll worry about making this swoop look a little bit better when the time comes, which is not now. But this will allow me to make her a little bit bigger on the screen again. So right now she's just kind of being shoved into the corner, and that's not what I want. That's not what I want for her. She doesn't deserve to be all shoved in the corner. He deserves to be just out there. Alright. Let's see. And then our hand needs to be in here, which will kind of change her sleeve a little bit. That's okay. It can. Okay, in that case, I'll just move the whole thing, but I'll lock the parts that I don't want to move, and... Head looks big. I want it to be sitting on her shoulders correctly. Head looks small. Proportions. You are my nightmare. This is why it takes me forever to draw stuff. And why it always has. Someday, I swear, I will figure this out, but that day, not today, apparently. See, this is why I always wanted to show my process on stream, because it is pure chaos. And I just kind of feel my way through things. And I think a lot of other people just have a very controlled process that they can kind of repeat every time, and I don't. I don't. I just kind of figure it out. I still do not like the head. But it is relatively proportionate. I have her kind of where I want her to be within my bubble. So I think this is fine for today. I will try to figure out what is wrong with the head, and I can fix all that tomorrow, and it'll be great. It'll be so great. Okay, but I think this is where I will stop for today. So, thank you all for coming, and I hope you're able to make something wonderful today. Even if you have to flail a lot. I'll see you all tomorrow.